Hi, everyone. Today, I'd love to share with you all 3 tips for working with psychic energy tools across any type of practice and modality. My name is Christine, and I'm a formally trained psychic reader and healer, as well as a psychic development teacher, a trance medium, and a professional musician. You can find out more about me and my services at kyanitepsychic.com. I just wanted to start out this new year with a video on, 3 important tips for enriching and strengthening your own personal practice of working with energy tools, whatever that looks like. Let's jump into the first one. Simply and powerfully release self doubt. Just decide that you are not going to entertain that energy in your body, chakras, aura, and most importantly, in your mind, right? Self doubt in the mind most often, I've noticed at least, shows up as, did I do it? Did I see it right? Did I create it correctly? Is it working? Did I do it? Right? All those kinds of thoughts, the chitter chatter that starts to mull around, especially at the beginning of your practice, but quite frankly, that can surface at any time. I don't need to tell you all that the mind is powerful, that our minds are all powerful, but I'm going to say it anyway. And, we all know that we have power and agency over the thoughts that we allow ourselves to think. But often we need to bring forth that gentle reminder like, hey, I don't have to entertain these thoughts. And hey, these types of thoughts that perpetuate self doubt within me are limiting my practice, limiting my capacity to be of service to myself and to humanity, right? So, something that I like to do, just a simple practice, is if I notice that I'm having those did it work? Am I doing it type thoughts, is, just close my eyes for a moment, put those thoughts, those words in a bubble, shove that bubble a mile away from me and just let it explode, let it dissipate and know that it's gone and choose not to entertain it any longer. So maybe that is something that can really benefit you on the way forward. But just know that really that is the biggest thing, to release self doubt and then in turn cultivate more and more each day the amount of belief that you have in yourself. As one of my teachers said, up your belief quotient. The second tip that I want to share with you all is that consistency is key. The more that you work with any tool, any modality or practice, the stronger it becomes, right? And all too often, a lot of us have that propensity to just kind of give up. We try something for a little while and think, oh, I don't know, it felt good. And then I'm not sure that it was effective. And then we move on to something else, right? It's important to give yourself consistency, to allow yourself to really build a relationship with particular modality or tools that you're working with. That doesn't mean that your practice has to look the same every day or be robotic or, any of that. Be creative, absolutely, but be consistent. Because it's not enough, again, to try something 2 or 3 times and then make a judgment call on it. One of my teachers likes to say, you gotta collect data points. Like, think of a scientific experiment or a study, right? Scientists will conduct the same experiment many, many, many times before making a judgment call on the effectiveness of what went on in the experiment. So, think of your practice the same way, right? That you got to really give yourself time to work with the same tool or practice before you make a judgment call on it, or before you make any judgment calls on yourself, frankly. So stay consistent. And if you realize, hey, I really haven't been, don't judge yourself for it. Just move forward. Plenty of times I was that person that just flitted about from technique to technique, modality to modality, just all over the place. And that was part of my journey. It's also probably an important part of your journey too. And when you're ready, start to get consistent on the technique, the modality that resonates with you in that moment. The third tip that I want to share is use the fullness of your senses to create. So, with any type of psychic energy tool or modality, we're employing our non physical or psychic senses. right? Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. And if you're not sure what all of those are, I do have a playlist about our psychic senses. I'll link it below and probably above. So use the fullness of your senses to create. Sometimes we can get a little lazy. And by we, I'm including me. So, you know, we can, work with, for instance, protection tool and okay, I installed it, done. And we don't use the fullness of our senses or take a little bit of time to really install those energetic protections. So if that's something that's lighting up for you, I invite you to just slow down a little bit and use all of the beautiful non-physical senses that you're gifted with, that we're all gifted with, to create and work with energetic tools. So, that's seeing, using your clairvoyance, seeing the tools or seeing what you're creating, feeling it shift your space, really opening up that psychic feeling, knowing, even hearing, smell, taste, right? Try to employ all of your senses as much as you can, because that will only strengthen the tools and modalities that you're working with and strengthen the results that are, coming about from working with them. So I truly hope that this video is helpful for you, that it's some food for thought, a reflection moving forward into the new year. And I also just wanted to share that if you are, just interested in the idea of working with psychic energy tools, that I have a great introductory 4-week class called Psychic and Energetic Self-Healing that introduces some fundamental energy tools and walks you through it in the course of 4 weeks. It also involves a one-on-one check-in with me at the end of the 4 weeks too. So I'll put information about that class in the description below. Thanks so much for spending time with me. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it, consider subscribing, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.